Toshokone. 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 Ya hey ya. Hey ya na hey. Ya hey ya hey. Ya hey ya hey. Ya hey ya hey ya. Ya hey ya hey ya da hey. Here I am, back by my pond again for another Tim Talk. Uh, it's funny, I had this thought. I just had a drink from this great thing called a Yeti. I tell you, we humans are amazing. Whoever developed this thing can keep water cold or warm when you drink it. Man, I love those guys, or whoever did it. And I got coffee in here, and I tell you, what a gift from the earth, coffee. Sometimes, sometimes I think it's really important just to acknowledge, take a moment to acknowledge something that is good for you. And I realize coffee, if there's too much of it, it's not necessarily good for you. But a good cup of coffee, that's one of the great gifts that ultimately comes from nature. And often in our world where so many things come from grocery stores and in the mail and Amazon.com, we don't track it back to that came from the earth. And I can now visualize the coffee plants growing and the people tending them, and I get to drink this wonderful bean. And it helps me to be fully present for you guys. So, this talk is going to be called, we have a class called the Scout Way. It's going to be entitled The Scout Way, Earth Warrior, Earth Caretaker. And I'm changing that class next year in our school to Scout Way, Earth Caretaker. I'm moving it more into that. So the title of this talk is Scout Way, Earth Warrior, Earth Caretaker. And I think how I want to approach this is the idea of a scout, going back in time again to our ancestors. The scout in a tribe or a clan was perhaps the most highly skilled individual with nature skills that there was within the clan or the tribe. They were the best trackers. They were the best hunters. They were the best gatherers of food. And hence the scout culture became the protectors. They were the ones that would go out if there was times of battle or strife. They would be the ones on the front scouting what was happening, coming back, telling the tribe to protect them. And their skills allow them to stay alive in often a very difficult situation. So their skills became highly developed. So one of the things I want to point out right now is if you like this idea, you've got to be committed to developing your outdoor skills to the max. Make them alive within you. Take them to the higher levels that they can go. If you're not interested in that, it's not necessary, but it's always a wonderful thing to do if you can find the time in your life to do it. Now, I take it the Scout Way as I love that word. The scouts became the protectors of the community of the tribe. And for today, I like to take that to protectors not only of the community and the tribe, the people, but of the animals, the plants, the earth itself. But today, like no other time in human history, because there's almost 8 billion people on the earth and we're not living in a sustainable way, we're hurting our earth to the point where she will become uninhabitable. We need scouts, earth caretakers, to protect our planet while we human beings figure out ourselves and learn to live in harmony with our planet. The scout can be that intercessor, that person or persons, and it has to be many persons, as in millions, maybe billions, that hold the space while the rest of humanity excuse my words, gets its shit together. So that's, we're not in tribes in the old days anymore where we're fighting another tribe or off hunting and exploring. It's a very different world today. That world has gone away for most humans. There might be some, but for most. So the scout is now becomes highly efficient skills. You have to have that deep connection with nature and the skills in order to be a good earth protector or a good scout. So that's what I see. We have a class about that in our school. And it means one of the first things you have to do is you have to be powerful within yourself. Before you can go off and protect the world and the people in it and the plants and the animals and the earth itself, you got to be good within yourself. You got to be healthy. You got to be strong and fit. You have to be intelligent. You have to feed your brain information and knowledge that can help you to function in the world in a good way. There's great power in knowledge and self-made intelligence from study and curiosity and life experience. Your body has to be able to function well. Whatever gift your body is to you, and we all have different bodies, keep it as healthy as you can. Eat well, exercise, take care of it, and then you'll be able to do more. You'll be more efficient. And then you have to find purpose in your life. Like, who are your people? Where do you belong? What are you best at doing? What are your gifts that you can give to the human race and to Earth itself to help us to heal and to grow? These are things to think about. And then, it's one of the greatest, many of our kids put this on their codes of honor when they do rite of passage. You have to take action. If it just stays cerebral, it's not going to do you any good, or anybody else any good, or the earth any good. You have to take action. You have to put your skills into action, which means you have to do another thing. You have to take risks, which means you have to do another thing. You have to conquer false fear. False fear is spelled F-E-A-R. False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. You have to conquer false fear. You have to be willing to go out into the world, put yourself on the line, and make a difference. And I can't sugarcoat this. There could be danger involved, or not. I don't know. There could be risk to your mental health, to the being that you are in some way. You might get your butt kicked. And you know what incredible people who change the world forever for the good do? When they get their butt kicked, it's like when you get knocked off a horse or bucked off a horse. You know the old saying, you get back on, or the horse will never let you ride her again? You get back on the horse. You get up. You shake it off. You dust it off. You may have a couple of moments where maybe you bitch and moan about it, and then you get back on the horse and you go for it. That's the kind of people we need today. Scouts, earth protectors, earth keepers. Now, your gift might be direct action. It might be getting out there in the front lines and creating, protecting animals that are being killed by people. You know, I've heard recently about these incredible women in Africa who have taken on becoming scouts to protect rhinoceroses and other animals that are being poached. And it's an entire group of women, and they are kicking butt from what I understand. I heard about another group of women who've planted trees across all of Africa to keep the Sahara Desert from encroaching upon beautiful land due to global warming. They've planted millions, if not billions of trees that have created habitats and homes for people. That's an earth warrior. Whether it's writing and inspiring people, whether it's becoming a teacher and teaching children or adults, whether it's voting correctly for the earth, voting for the earth. If in our last election we ended up with this creep called Donald Trump, who could care less about our planet. Forget the rest of the politics. He could care less about our planet. He's doing everything he can to damage it and hurt it. If people who cared about the planet, and I know tons of them, had voted, and they've told me they didn't, we wouldn't have this problem, and our earth wouldn't be in so much trouble. Species of animals, waterways, our planet is suffering now because people didn't get off their butts and vote. Again, I go back, and I'm passionate about this. Get up and take action. Take action. Shop correctly. Learn where you're spending your money. There's tremendous power in how we spend our money. Drive less. I know we're all driving, and we've got one of our biggest issues. We've got to figure out what to do with this problem with gasoline and go into electric or other ways. While we're learning that and building up the energy we need to make the changes, drive less. Cut your driving in half. Ride a bicycle. Walk. Get to know your neighbors. Walk with them. Read and study, as I mentioned before, so you know what the problems are, so that you can be involved. See what calls to you and go help. If 1 million people all get out there and make a difference, oh my gosh. Recently I read a book that talked about all the movements around the world, people not even associated with a government or a group, who just have stepped up and fought for the earth, voted for the earth, worked for the earth, volunteered for the earth, been of service for the earth. That's what needs to happen. Plant your yard into a garden for wildlife. Plant your deck into a garden for wildlife. Every day, look into the mirror and ask, what can I do today for our planet? Can I help that bird out my window? Can I vote right today? Can I write a letter to somebody in Congress? Can I go out and volunteer in a project? Can I organize a volunteer project? Why not? Why can't you be the one to lead the way? Can I write a thank you letter to someone and tell them how happy you were? There's no lack of things you can do to make our earth healthier and all that live upon it, including humans, healthier. That is a scout today. That is a modern scout. That is an earth protector. That is an earth caretaker. If you are not out there doing this every single day, then you are part of the problem. You become what we've talked about, a taker, not a leaver. A person who takes and uses the planet and all that live upon it and never give back. You want to be a person who leaves it better. Life, the planet is a circle. The circle of life is a circle. The circle is broken today. Our ancestors knew. If you took trees from the woods, if you hunted animals and so forth, you had to give back, or the circle would be broken, and eventually you'd have no food or no shelter or no way of surviving. Today, the circle's broken. We need to mend it, repair it, protect it, care for it. So I implore you to go for it. Be part of the solution. Every one of you matters. Every single one of you has your own unique gifts. You matter. And the earth needs you now. Take action. Be a scout. Be an earth protector. Be an earth caretaker. And a bright future awaits us all.